5. Who we are: straight, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, plus. Straight, lesbian, gay, and bisexual are words that have to do with sex because sex is also about sexual desire, the sexual feelings we may have toward another person. The words sexual orientation are words that have to do with sexual attraction. Being sexually attracted to another person has to do with those sexual feelings one has toward that person. People do not choose their sexual orientation. Often it takes time for kids and for adults to figure out their sexual orientation. And different people have different sexual orientations. A person who is straight is someone who is sexually attracted to people of another gender, someone who is not the same gender as they are. Heterosexual is another name for a straight person. Heteros is the ancient Greek word for other. I like those Greek words. I like pictures. I think a picture's worth 1,000 words. In a straight relationship, two people of different genders, a male and a female, are sexually attracted to and may have loving feelings for or fall in love with or may have a sexual relationship with each other. A person who is gay is someone who is sexually attracted to people of the same sex or gender. Homosexual is another name for a gay person. Homos is the ancient Greek word for the same. Now, most people use the word gay instead of the word homosexual. In a gay relationship, two people of the same gender, a male and a male, or a female and female, are attracted to and may have loving feelings for, or fall in love with, or may have a sexual relationship with each other. A gay relationship between two females is called a lesbian relationship. The word lesbian began to be used in the late 19th century. It refers to the time about 600 BCE when the great female poet Sappho lived on the Greek island of Lesbos. Sappho wrote about friendship and love between women. The ancient Greeks thought that love between two men was the highest form of love. In the ancient Greek city-state of Sparta in about 1000 BCE, it was hoped that if male warriors were in the same army regiment as their lovers, they would fight harder in order to impress each other. The Spartan army was one of the most powerful and feared armies in ancient Greece. A person who is bisexual is someone who is sexually attracted to people of a different gender, and also sexually attracted to people of the same gender. Someone who is bisexual is attracted to, may have a crush on, or may have loving feelings for, or fall in love with, and may have a sexual relationship with both males and females. Bi means two, and is also the ancient Greek word for two. People often use the word bi for bisexual. There have been gay, lesbian, and bisexual relationships all through history. Even before ancient Greece. How people feel and think about homosexuality and bisexuality has a lot to do with the culture and the times in which they live. I love history. I love science too. Don't brag. Scientists do not completely understand or agree on why one person is straight, why another person is gay or lesbian, or why another person is bisexual. In fact, there may be more than one reason. But most scientists believe that being lesbian, gay, straight, or bisexual is not something you choose. Just as you cannot choose what skin color you were born with or the sex organs you were born with, they believe that a person is born with traits, with a biological makeup, and that these biological traits are what determine whether someone is a straight person or a gay person or a bisexual person. Sometimes as kids are growing up, they become curious about other kids who are the same gender as they are or who are a different gender. They may even look at and even touch each other's bodies. This is a normal kind of exploring and does not necessarily have anything to do with whether someone will be straight, gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Dreaming about or having a crush on a person of the same sex also does not necessarily mean that a person is or will be straight, gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Whew, I'm glad it's okay to be curious about other bodies. I myself am curious about celestial bodies. Many people use the term LGBTQ+. These initials, L for lesbian, G for gay, B for bisexual, T for transgender, Q for queer or questioning, and plus for plus, are ways of referring to people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or who refer to themselves as queer or questioning, or who may use other words to refer to themselves. Queer is a word that some people use to describe their gender and or their sexuality. In the past, some used the word queer as an insult. Now, many people are proud to identify themselves as queer. Questioning is a word that is used when people may question who they are sexually attracted to. Someone of the same sex or gender as themselves, or someone of a different sex or gender from themselves. Or both, or neither. The word questioning is also used when kids or adults question the feelings they have about their own gender. Pansexual describes those who are attracted to people of all genders, not just to males or females. Asexual is a word that is used to describe people who feel that they are not sexually attracted to anyone of any gender. The word ace is often used as a shorter way of just saying asexual. Gender is another word to describe who you are as a person. Gender can also be about the thoughts and feelings you have about who you are as a person. There are many other things to know and many other words that have to do with gender. What is most important is to use words that are respectful when talking about gender. Chances are you have heard some of, but not all of, these words. That's because over time, some words that are used to describe gender do change, even though other words to describe gender stay the same. And soon there may be new words that we use to describe gender. Cisgender is a word that has to do with gender. Cis is the Latin word for the phrase, on the same side. A cisgender person is someone who feels or knows that the gender that was assigned to them at birth, female or male, and was and still is their gender. The word cis is often used as a shorter way of saying the word cisgender. Cisgender people can be straight or lesbian or gay or bisexual or asexual. Transgender is another word that has to do with gender. Trans is the Latin word for across, or the phrase on another side. A transgender person is someone whose gender identity is different from the gender that person was assigned at birth, and who transitions from the gender assigned at birth to a different gender. Transgender people can be straight or lesbian or gay or bisexual or asexual. This means that a person who was born with a male body but feels, acts, and knows she is female and may ask to be called a girl, or a person who was born with a female body, but feels, acts, and knows he is a male and may ask to be called a boy, is a transgender person. Some feel this way all of the time and will feel this way through their lives. Others may feel this way for a few months or a few years, and some may feel that sometimes they are one gender and other times they are a different gender. Transgender people may change the way they dress, or their name to match the gender they believe they really are. They may also ask to be called he instead of she, or she instead of he. And some who feel they are male some of the time and female at other times may ask to be called they or them. It is always respectful and kind to ask people what name they want to be called and what pronouns, such as they, she, he, or them, they choose to use to refer to themselves and would like others to use when talking with or about them. It's also important to respect those who choose not to be identified or labeled by gender. Oh, more words to remember. Say a word 3 times and you'll remember it. Gender, gender. You only said it 2 times. Said what? Gender. There are even more words that have to do with gender, and you may have noticed that other people may use words about gender that are different from the words you may have heard or may use. The phrase gender identity describes the gender people identify with, the gender they feel and know they are. Gender expression is about the many ways in which people express their gender to others, such as by the clothes one wears or by one's hairstyle. Gender fluid describes those who feel they are not the same gender all the time. Pangender describes those who feel they are more than one gender. Pan is the ancient Greek word for all. Binary, which means 2, is a word that describes only 2 genders, female and male. Non-binary is a word that can mean several things about a person's gender identity. It can mean that a person identifies as neither male nor female, or identifies as someone who is in between male and female, or maybe another gender. There are some who disapprove of people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or questioning, or call them offensive names, or tease, bully, or even hate them, or not want to be with them, only because a person is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning. They may feel this way because they think LGBTQ plus people are different from them, or that gay relationships are wrong. These people's views are based on fears or misinformation, not on facts. People are often afraid of people they know little or nothing about, or who are different from them in some ways. Some feel that transgender people should not have the right to use the bathroom at the school or other public spaces, or should not have the right to be on a sports team that aligns with the gender they feel or know they are. Taking away an LGBTQ plus person's rights only because of their gender identity or sexual orientation is more than disrespectful. Taking away or trying to take away one's rights can make a person feel sad, even very sad or angry. Yet when this happens, there are people, including kids, who speak out in support of what is respectful and decent to do. Also, there are bathrooms in several schools and public. Places that have signs that say all genders or gender inclusive or gender neutral. That means that anyone, no matter what their gender, may use the bathroom, and there are schools that allow kids, no matter what their gender, to choose the team they want to be on. Some people feel that LGBTQ plus people should not have the right to marry. Many other people feel and have always felt that LGBTQ plus people should have the right to marry. They now have that right. On June 16, 2015, the United States Supreme Court voted 5-4 to make it legal for people of the same sex to marry each other in all 50 states. The name of this Supreme Court decision is Obergefell versus Hodges. Until that date, same-sex marriage had been banned in most states. There are other countries that have also made it legal for people of the same sex to marry. If a person has any questions, thoughts, or concerns about their sexual feelings or gender, talking to someone they know and trust, a parent, relative, therapist, doctor, nurse, teacher, or clergy person, can often be helpful. No matter what some people may think, it's still important for every person to treat all people with respect. It's important to know that people's daily lives, having fun, going to school, going to work, making a home, having friends, being in love, being single, being a partner, being married, raising children, are mostly the same whether someone is straight, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning.